Hello, I have received an email of a potential buyer of the book Draw Your Company Strategy that says, considering the mapper's experience, what type of reader does the book help? So I started writing an email, and then I figured out that it was very difficult to do that by email, and I started drawing a table and trying to figure out how to answer the question. So finally, I prefer to do a video. So first of all, each mapper has its own learning path, and not everybody learns in the same way. And it's also because each mapper work in a different context and have a different background. And second thing that it's important to think is that the purpose of each mapper is different. There are mappers that they use Varley mapping to draw maps, understand better a problem, especially in its context, think individually, think with others, have conversations, communicate with others. They prepare a map and then they communicate a concept or something through that map. Then there are others that they work at the strategy level, building a strategy, operational or a business. Communicate a strategy to their bosses or to the teams or different unit organizations of the company. Study the strategy of competitors, picking 2, 3 competitors and doing the analysis, the qualitative analysis, using the same nomenclature, and Varley mapping help them. And four, I have seen people that they use the Varley mapping to understand how others have built a strategy, make questions about that strategy, and discover things that they are not well articulated or blind spots. So the book tried to cover both. And at this moment, I don't know how much percentage it's covering from depending of the purpose. The second thing is the level. There is not a formal level defined about what a Varley mapper is. There is no yellow belt, green belt, black belt. There is nothing like that. But let's try to see, from my point of view, what I have seen from my experience. First, all mappers start drawing maps, and I think this is a mistake. And in the book, I have added a section about how to read maps. I consider that reading maps is more important than draw maps, and it's interesting to read maps first and then try to draw. Why? Simon Varley published a glossary of terms. Each term, each symbol has meaning. That meaning, to understand that and to mentally decodify that purpose of that symbol in a map, it's important because it enables to draw the map and express the reality that we have perceived using that nomenclature in the proper way. So reading is quite important when learning to draw. And I put a lot of emphasis on the book about reading because it accelerates the learning curve of the mapper. Then there are some mappers that when they have mapped the context and they have conversations around that, there is a limit on the conversation. And I propose to them to look at the climatic patterns. Why? Because the climatic patterns enable them to look at dynamics that these external forces that they are affecting their context, and they can really better understand the dynamics on their context. The other thing that I have figured out is that people that they have good understanding of the maps, they start to have multiple maps. A main map that they have different versions of that map. They define specific areas of interest, and then they create sub-maps from that one. And then they have deeper conversations about that. For me, that it's a medium level. And for this type of mappers, there is a lot of information in the book. And I think that it will help them to use all the details that enable them to accelerate their knowledge. Then there are other mappers that they have a high knowledge on the concepts of barley mapping. Here, the use of doctrines when they are analyzing an environment, group of people working together, etc. Gameplays, how to identify gameplays in companies, how to identify which are the main ones, define and structure action plan with respect a set of principal gameplays and then secondary list of gameplays, and prioritize in the good way, and communicate in a proper way. That's also so important. People doing that, I think they have high level. People that they are able to identify incentives inside of the map and outside of the map. And here, there is not only the experience on barley mapping, it's experience in business, experience working in whatever sector you are. Then there is also the existence of the bad actor. So people that they identify which advantages a bad actor can provoke in their context, I think they are really good mappers. And people that they have inertia in their minds and they are able to identify what are the main inertia an organization have, or to reflect that on a specific map and work with the 16 main types of inertia that Simon has defined. Can have the book something that can help these type of mappers? I will say yes. And in future versions, I am trying to work at this level to try to satisfy this type of needs. So I think that that's it. I hope that I have answered the question. Thank you.